Today our topic is looking at 19 risk factors that can actually bring or lead to glaucoma. 19 different risk factors. But before then, we should understand the normal pressure of the eye. The eye or our eyes naturally produce aqueous humor, that's a fluid, which is important for eye health, and it keeps the eye inflated. That is the shape the eye should have. And this fluid is so important because it gives the eye nutrients, specifically the eye lens and the cornea, because they don't have blood vessels to provide them with oxygen and nutrients. So that's very important. In a normal healthy eye, the pressure in the eye should be between 10 and 21 millimeters of mercury. However, if this pressure rises beyond that 21, it doesn't mean that a person automatically got glaucoma. No, it doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that a person may have what it called ocular hypertension. And the ocular hypertension could be between 22 and 28, but it may not actually manifest any glaucoma effect or damage to the optic nerve, which connects the eye and the brain. Because we human beings, we can see only when the optic nerves carries the electrical, or what they call the light impulses, from the retina, that's the back of the eye, to the brain. The brain interprets the signals for you to see. So anything you see have light that goes through the eye lens, it lands on the retina, and then of course the optic nerve carries it to your brain for interpretation for you to see whatever you see. So in glaucoma, this optic nerve gets damaged, and that's why it can really cause real vision loss, because there won't be any interpretation. So we should be open-minded about pressure in the eye, because if you have a high pressure, it doesn't mean that you have glaucoma automatically. Some people may have pressure within the normal range between 10 and 21 and may still have glaucoma damaging effect. It means that the optic nerve could be damaged even though their eye pressure is within the range. So it's not black and white thing. It's not straightforward. It's a bit complicated. The key thing is that taking care of your eye in general and making sure that your eye pressure is all right naturally. So the normal eye or healthy eye produces the aqueous humor, which fills the eye and provides the eye with nutrients and supports the eye health. But it should drain out of the eye. And if it doesn't drain, then of course pressure builds up. And that's where we come to glaucoma, because in glaucoma there's a pressure buildup. This fluid builds up because there is a clogging condition down the drainage system in the eye. Down there, the angle, which means that the opening through which the fluid should go down, the drainage system is still working. Just like in the kitchen, in your sink, there's nothing wrong with the sink. You can put water there, but when the water goes down, deep down the pipe system, there's something clogging it or blocking it. It's the same in glaucoma. And the most common form of glaucoma is called the primary open angle glaucoma. That is more than 80% of glaucoma cases. Glaucoma has no symptoms. It doesn't produce any symptoms. Early stage or late stage, no symptoms at all. But what are the risk factors? What can promote glaucoma? we can say it's age. But aging doesn't mean that you have diseases automatically. But when you are aging, the body changes. Your arteries plug. You can remove toxins easily. So inflammation builds up. Anything can happen in the drainage system. So aging, older age, is a risk factor. Family history is 35%. It all depends on your lifestyle. And when you are from African ancestry, it's also a risk factor as well. Nearsightedness is also a risk as well. Additionally, we have high intraocular pressure. That is the medical term for eye pressure. When you have hypertension, that is ocular hypertension, if you don't reverse that condition, it's a risk for glaucoma. If your pressure is too low or too high, it's also a risk. People that use topical corticosteroid or steroid on their eyes because of inflammatory condition is a risk for glaucoma. Tumor may develop or grow somewhere around the eye and can also lead to glaucoma. Inflammation is always the foundation of many chronic diseases. It's also a factor or risk factor. Type 2 diabetes is a clear risk factor. Atherosclerosis, it means the plugging of the arteries. So when the arteries are plugged, anything can happen. Stroke can happen, heart attack can happen, enlarged heart can happen, but glaucoma can also happen. Obesity, if you have too much weight, you may naturally develop metabolic condition that can lead to glaucoma. Migraine is also a risk factor. Anxiety and stress is a risk factor as well. When your cornea, the transparent part of the eye covering the iris, the colored part of the eye and the lens, when it's too thinned, it can also be a risk factor. Sleep apnea, where your breathing may cut off and start again. Individuals may have this breathing start and it will start and stop about 5 to 100 times before they break. Only the person lying down may see. But remember, sleep apnea is a risk for stroke, risk for blood pressure, heart problems, and of course, glaucoma. Another risk factor is those that cannot tolerate glucose. That is called a glucose intolerance. And those that use, not about those, but women that use birth control pills is also a risk factor. And individuals that take too much alcohol and cigarette is also a risk factor. Beloveds, we've learned a lot, and I believe we have understood what is glaucoma and what is also normal eye pressure. You may be listening to me, you may have a chronic disease that have been with you, you may be training for a long time. Naturally, you can support the body for the body to heal itself. You can't control any symptoms of diseases. It will be out of control and you can't manage it at some point. Just a call away and your life will never be the same. It may be you or someone. Share this number, be a blessing to somebody, and your life will never be the same. If you're calling outside the UK, it's +44 738 464 7300. If you're calling within the UK, it's 0738 464 7300. If you want to learn more about my videos, visit me on my YouTube channel, put in Dr. James Natural Link, Dr. James Natural Link, and go there, subscribe, and click the like button to support me about this whole program. Share the presentations there, be a blessing to somebody, and God will bless you. Thank you so much